Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Are the holidays a season of joy or just another marathon of stress, temptation, and guilt? Tonight, we're unwrapping the secret to enjoying Christmas celebrations without feeling deprived or defeated by January. Imagine savoring every festive bite and moment while waking up energized and empowered the next day. But what if the secret isn't self denial, but a whole new approach to nourishment and energy? So let's explore how women can nourish themselves, maintain energy, and thrive through the whirlwind of holiday festivities. No guilt trips required. Today, I'm joined by our resident nutritionist and women's health coach, Annie Gaudreault, founder of VEEV Health and Wellness. Annie, welcome to Empowered. It's great to have you back again.
Thank you, Liz.
And I love the fact that we both have our festive clothing on, whatever it is that we're celebrating. So let's just jump right in. Why do so many of us fall off track with our healthy habits during the holidays, even when we have the best intentions?
Because we're out of our routine, Liz.
Ah,
Right? There's
yes.
invitations, the schedule is out of whack, and suddenly we feel out of sorts. So it's really easy to feel like, oh, well, there is such chaos. I'm just going to give it all up because, I'm off track. But there are so many strategies that we're going to talk about tonight.
So, okay, speaking of strategy, what's the biggest mistake people make when trying to be good during this time of year?
Oh, I think it's all about that mindset, Liz, of determining what good is, which is all or nothing. I think that that's the number one mistake that we make by identifying that we're going to be good, right? You can be good, go to a beautiful dinner, enjoy what the host has presented for you, and still indulge. This is the season of bubbles, of treats, right? Of sparkles. This is meant to be enjoyed.
So, how can we enjoy the holidays without feeling deprived or guilty afterwards? Because a lot of us have something in our mind, and then we go and we have a little bit too much of whatever it is, and then the guilt sets in.
I think it's all about being intentional. We have this wonderful opportunity, right? Somebody invites us to a dinner party, and there's going to be lots of treats between the bubbles and the appetizers, etc., and the dessert. And I think it's about being intentional in terms of what we want to experience that evening. So the first thing is saying, you know what, I want to go there and really, really enjoy this beautiful soiree that people have set up for us. And maybe it's also deciding what am I going to actually enjoy there? And maybe it's all about the food, having a wonderful glass or two of wine and so on, and saying, you know what, I don't need to do the dessert tonight. Right? So setting up your intentions ahead of time is one of the most successful strategies to stay on track, still enjoy what is to be enjoyed, and then feeling guilt-free the next day.
So, if we're looking at women at midlife, what makes this season especially challenging from a health and energy perspective?
Well, it's crazy season, Liz.
Yeah.
We already have a full plate, and then you add on the fact that we carry 70% of the, outside the work chores between home. We menu plan, we do the social planning, we do the gift giving. No wonder we feel like that it is overwhelming, right? So I think that this is one of the first things to recognize is that we carry a whole other load in addition to our day jobs and all the other responsibilities that we have.
So, you often talk about energy management instead of time management. How can we apply that during the holiday rush?
Yes, we wished we all had more time, more hours in the day, but the one thing that we can actually protect is our energy. So, again, here being strategic, maybe starting the day with 20 minutes for me. I'm going to do that quick walk, that quick workout in the basement, right? Allocating some time for me, either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day to relax, to recharge. Maybe it's a quick bath with some Epsom salts, very simple thing will keep you on track and keep your energy high.
And I think that's important. I think one of the things as women, what we don't do is take care of ourselves. We always take care of everyone else, and then we are depleted. So please don't go away. We'll be right back with more Annie Gaudreault and her holiday tips for 2025. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's discussion is staying on track during the holidays. So, Annie, before we went to break, we were talking about taking care of ourselves. What are a few nutrition tweaks that can make a huge difference in how we feel, even when social events and indulgences just pile up?
Yeah, very simple things that everyone can do, Liz, is start your meals or when you go to a party with vegetables. There's always a little crudité platter, right? Have a few carrots and celery and cherry tomatoes. Those are the things that actually going to make a big difference because you as you start with vegetables, you're actually going to help your blood sugar levels. It's going to help you digest better. It's going to help you feel better, definitely on the other hand. So that's one of the big strategies. Second, I think that it is worth repeating. It's a classic, but don't show up starving to these occasions. That's going to help you not overindulge with all of the wonderful, treats and temptations that are going to be there. And you can also be intentional in your portions. This is something that I'm very mindful of. Just making sure of looking at how much am I eating and making sure that we are making a choice where it's like, I think that I've had enough. I don't necessarily need, this double quantity of X, Y, or Z. I think these are very simple things that everybody can do.
Simple things. And one of the things you did say was, do not show up hungry. For me, I have these issues. I can't eat gluten. I can't eat lactose. I can't eat allium. So for me, I always have to prepare. And sometimes I'll even bring something that I can eat because I know that there won't be anything for me to eat there. And you need some nutrition. For me, I have to set my boundaries up ahead of time before I leave the house. How can someone set boundaries around food, alcohol, or social expectations without coming across as being difficult or even antisocial?
Yeah. I think that nowadays hosts are a little bit more sensitive
Mhm.
to the fact that there are these conditions and that we need to, apply some flexibility. I think that one is that telling the host, right, what is going on, because we don't want to arrive and say, oh, and by the way, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. And of course, the host is like, oh my goodness, Liz is not going to be able to eat anything. So making sure that they know first and foremost, and then offering. What I find very helpful as a host is somebody says, for example, I'm a vegan. Will there be some options? And would you like me to bring a simple side? Right. I think that that's a wonderful strategy that helps both, of course, yourself, making sure that there's an option that is going to be good for you, and also is helping and is respecting the host in their effort. So I think that that's a really great way to do it. We can do that with alcohol now too, right? There's alcoholic free wine and beers and mocktails of great quality.
So, I've been talking to a few of my friends. Some have children, some don't have children, some are stressed at work, some are not stressed at work. Everyone's feeling something right now. And I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, when you're on a flight and they talk about the safety measures and they say to you, put your mask on first, the oxygen mask on first, take care of yourself first, and then your family or whoever's with you. Many women feel stretched and thin between work, family, and social obligations right now. Other than putting the oxygen mask on first, what are your best strategies for avoiding burnout?
The first one, it's a toughie, but it's to say no.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we just can't accommodate another obligation or another, I cannot cook another batch of muffins for this event, right? I think it's important to say no. The second thing is to actually cut corners, right? Buy the thing, order it online, right? Nobody expects us to be perfect. I think that's really, really important to remind ourselves that nobody's going to care. Right? Honestly, nobody remembers what happened the last Christmas and what so and so brought and how we looked. So I think that that's really important in terms of the biggest strategies. And I also say sometimes delegate a little bit more, Liz,
Yep.
right? What can we share with others?
I love the fact that you said, we can't be perfect because there's no such thing as perfection, yet that word just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And it's a moving target setting us up to fail. So you're right. Delegate, make your life simpler, and please don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Annie and her holiday tips. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's discussion is staying on track during the holidays. Now, Annie, you and I have talked about women and sleep. I actually started doing hypnotherapy at night, and that has really helped me sleep solid through the night. And we all become skeptical. We all think this is never going to work. For me, it's worked, but it was a long haul. Want to talk about sleep? What role does sleep play in keeping our moods and cravings in check, especially during the holiday season?
I would say that it's probably one of the most foundational aspect to stay strong in general, certainly to get through a period of time that has a lot of stress and expectations attached to it, such as the holidays, right? So, getting a good night's sleep is going to help us feel better about ourselves, make better decisions during the day, less hangry moments,
Mm.
right? Less vulnerability as well as we go through some of the highs and lows of the holidays. So protecting your sleep is one of the best things that we can do. It is definitely not a luxury. It is essential.
So, I was doing hypnotherapy and I'm still doing it for sleep. Some women cannot fall asleep. Do you have any suggestions for them? Anything that can help get them on the right track so that they actually can have that essential sleep that they need?
Absolutely. Sleep is a complex mechanism. And often women will say, well, I tried that one supplement, it didn't work. So, this is not for me. And I would say there are many, many different tools. And it's to try, as you just said, Liz, it took you a while to find this tool that would work for you. And then it takes time for even that to incorporate itself. The biggest thing that I see is that women are going from 100 to 0 and expect, like, oh, well, I'm just going to fall asleep like that. The brain is just so full and the machine is cranking and we just cannot stop. So a sleep hygiene in the evening is really, really important. And it's very difficult because I know that women feel that when they're not doing anything, they feel guilty. But my in as in like relaxing, right? In the evening. I don't want you to be working or checking more emails or social media. I actually want you to be away from all of that and really taking it easy. It's a very difficult thing to do in 2025 with the lifestyle that we have.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody's rushing around, everybody's shortcutting and everything else. And yeah, when you put your head down on that pillow, the brain just keeps twirling. It's like a whirling dervish. It just doesn't end. It just keeps going and going. And we need to calm that so that it'll calm the rest of us. Let's just move on to the holidays because talking about calm, they can be emotionally charged. So, what are your go to tips for staying grounded and calm under the pressures of family, not seeing people and expectations, and then the social pressures?
I think that it's about remembering what is important to us at the end of the day. So sometimes we get caught up with my nails are not done. Oh my God, I didn't have time to get my color done or my trim, right? We worry about these things. And meanwhile, in order to stay grounded, what we want to do is just stick to the essential. What is really important about this time of year? Like, is it about seeing friends, connecting with family, being able to finally have time to connect truly with people that we care about and love? Nobody will ever care about our hair as much as, we'd like to them to notice our hair. But you know what I mean, Liz? This is a really important time to just ground ourselves with what truly matters to us at this time of year.
And I think that's really important. I think we all have to step back and take a look at the big picture. And you're 100% correct. Step back, take a look, be grateful, think about what makes you happy rather than stressing about, your hair, nails, or something that is just a distraction for you. And I think what we need to do is, take a look at the big picture, see what's important to you right at that particular time and not stress about anything because life just throws you curveballs on a regular basis and you're constantly going and you're depleting your energy and you're depleting everything. So, good words of wisdom. Please don't go away. When we come back, Annie will have more of her holiday secrets for us. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. I'm joined by our resident nutritionist and women's health coach, Annie Gaudreault, founder of VEEV Health and Wellness. And today's discussion is staying on track during the holidays. So, Annie, last segment, we've got a lot to put in here. I want to talk about alcohol. I know there's a whole generation right now that doesn't drink, but there is another generation that does drink. So, any realistic advice for managing it without feeling like you're missing out?
Yeah, I think that we all love the ritual of alcohol, like the beautiful drinks, the glasses. So I think that for someone who wishes to abstain from alcohol, it's about, getting the options. We talked about alcohol-free wines and mocktails, right? And still putting them into beautiful glasses that will allow you to cheer with others and feel that you're part of it and you're missing nothing at the end of the day. So, lots and lots of great options for people now.
So, how can we reset quickly after an indulgent weekend or holiday party without feeling guilty or, oh my gosh, we have to start over on a Monday mentality?
Yeah, I think it goes back to this all or nothing mentality, right? There will be expect that there will be some nights where you actually indulge and you had the creme brulee and all of the things that were offered. And what I suggest to people is the next day you just start with your healthy habits again. The next day you have a healthy breakfast, you make sure you're fully hydrated, and that you keep with your movement routine. It's one of the biggest things during the holiday to keep sane.
You know what I like? I love the fact that you just said keep hydrated because, we've got the winter months upon us. Snow has come early this year. It's dry. Our skin is starting to feel it. We really do need to drink a lot of water to settle our skin, our mind, our body, and everything else. So I think that's a really important takeaway that you just mentioned. I want to talk about consistency because you've said before that consistency beats perfection. How can we apply that mindset over the next few weeks or month?
Sometimes it's in the little thing, Liz, right? As we look at the agenda for and the calendar for the holidays, we get all overwhelmed. And being consistent could be what we just talked about. I'm going to make sure that I get my liter and a half of water
Yep.
every day, right? And we can do that whether we're at home or, visiting others. We can also think about small things such as I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of movement every day. 20 minutes doesn't have to be perfect, right? It may not be your regular spin class or your full strength training thing, but having a little bit, incorporating a little bit is what's going to make you feel good. So, keeping these little habits over time is going to be game changing for you in terms of how you feel during these holidays.
And feeling good is really important as well. And I want to stick with that. I want you to share with us what's one simple ritual or practice that you personally rely on to stay centered and energized, especially during tough times or even the holidays.
I would say, Liv, that it's definitely my movement. Even during the holidays, my runs are scheduled. I know that if tomorrow I am going to have a full day, my movement is scheduled somewhere. At the beginning, maybe at the end, maybe in the middle. It's not perfect, but I make sure that it's there. That gives me sanity. It's a stress releaser as well. It brings you that beautiful perspective as well. When you're moving, it just removes a little bit of the cobwebs. It's definitely my favorite go-to stay sane during this time of year.
And I think that's important. Put it in the calendar. I do the same thing because if it's there, you see it and you use it. Finally, 10 seconds, one word of wisdom as a reminder for a busy woman.
Don't try to be perfect. Have fun, enjoy. This is one of the special times of year.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Annie.
Thank you.
Annie's words of wisdom to you are your health is your power source, your mindset is your secret weapon. Own both. And there's nothing mid about midlife. The time to act is now. Your future self is already waiting for the upgrade. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.